Hello, welcome to my first ever video. Um, I'm not really, it's technically not my first video. I've made other videos on other channels and stuff, but this is my first video where I'm using my voice, which is different for me because I usually don't use my voice. But this video is my own Wixo, which I'm actually pretty excited to do. So, as you can see, we're starting down here in the Basque region with this red team, and basically they're just gonna start off doing some little explorations around this area, mainly up north because the Pyrenees mountains are over here and it's really not easy for them to explore that. So they reach this little inlay area and they just go around it and keep on moving up until they run into the purple team up here. Now, these two, they're obviously very far away, but they're somehow going to have a war. Don't ask me how, but there's going to be a war between these two. The first kind of conqueror coming from this red team. We see the first conqueror coming from this red team here, and he's marching up this land. And he arrives right here. And he begins to invade this team. And it's going successful. And they take everything over completely. And so they just annex it. And we have some kind of like an empire here. So over the coming years, we see expansion of this red team empire thing. They reach up to this little bay area. I think that's a bay. Press up against these lakes. And eventually end their expansion along this, whatever this thing is. It kind of looks like a river, but I know it's not a river. Anyways, so this northern colony, they don't like being a part of the red team because, well, they're really far apart. So we see them just breaking away to this green team, and red team, they don't even get anything out of this colony, so they just like, okay, they just like let it happen. They don't really care. Anyway, we continue to see some expansion. Just doing this up into the Brittany area, mainly by the green team. And there's even some westward expansion from the red team. This is what the map looks like. And eventually, up here in the Brittany area, they discover some things. So what they actually end up discovering is that there are a couple... there's an entire new civilization up here with many new nations. But the thing they don't realize is when they stumble upon them, they're right in the middle of an important war. You see this gold team invading into the cyan team. However, we see this red-brown team, we have no idea what this is, invading into the gold team. That's not a very good color. I'm gonna choose that. That's a better color. And they have a lot of land here. You see this invasion continuing to go, and this cyan team, so it manages to recover all of the land, and they begin to start a counteroffensive into the gold team. We focus down here, while their ally, the brown team, continues to storm down the west. And finally, we have the capitulation of the gold team, with the rest of this land falling into basically just a state of anarchy. And let's look at the peace treaty. It's pretty simple. We just have two teams annexing the parts that they were at war with. And we actually see them forming a union at this point because they're very close. And to celebrate this, they decide to go to war with this purple blue team, and they just, this team's not really strong. This team's kind of strong, so it's a very easy win. But they also start to expand out into some territory until they reach something that looks about like this. And also add the islands around them because they also have those. And obviously, while this strong Brittany team was forming up in the north, we have the Cyan team is also expanding a lot. They now also kind of have this thing, sort of like a colony, except it's not like a colony because they connect with it. And after all the expansions, we have this green team looking something like this. I mean, there's actually share a border with the Cyan team. And later on in the episode, we do see something happen with this. But let's get back on the red team. The red team is not doing very well. They have an active civil war going on inside of them. Other regions of the nation feel much more unrepresented compared to these newer northern regions that have been focused way more on developing. So this rebellion has been gaining lots of traction down here in the south until they eventually reach this line right here and they just begin to consolidate their land instead of keep on going. And the red team decides they're okay with this and they come to peace. Now I just kind of added capitals and major cities here, and like I was saying earlier, something happening. We actually have this Cyan team thinking that this green team thinking that they can invade the Cyans. So they push in and encircle this major city right here and begin to siege it and also move up into it. And they capture this major city successfully and do this. Now, this Cyan team was not expecting this at all, because their forces were all up here in the capital, celebrating this new nation forming. So first, this team gets the jump on them. However, when their forces come down, it's clear. This is a force of about 10,000 men here, and this is a force of about 15,000 men. And you can tell how this goes, especially stretched across the front line like this. And it is eventually quickly pushed back. The occupation of this city right here is lifted, and this green team is completely kicked out of the Britannic Union, is what I'm calling it. Actually, Brittany Union, because I'm pretty sure Britannic Union would be like this, or whatever. So, instead of invading back, whoa, why is there gold right there? Instead of invading back into this country, they send a peace deal over to them, saying, hey, if you just give us this land, then we're chill. And they're like, yeah, we're chill. And again, it's another celebration for the Cyan team. They decide to expand even more, and this is probably the biggest reaches that they're gonna go to, at least in this episode. And as probably the final event in this episode. We see the expansion of exploration with them exploring to the Normandy area and just along the France area, because to my knowledge at least, pretty sure it's correct, is this area is largely just a big field. Now I know this area is a big field, but I'm pretty sure this area is also a big field. So they just explore a bunch all the way up here. And down here, they also try to explore into the Pyrenees Mountains. I'm not sure why they would want to do that, but they try to. And a lot of them die, so they don't really make it through. But they do go up north. They explore a lot over here. Now, if we actually turn on the geography layer, we can see... Oh, I forgot I had a geography layer. Yeah, this is pretty much just big plains. If we turn on this geography layer, come down here, you can see they are exploring between these two rivers. And then eventually come down here and over here and realize that there's more coastline than what is seen. So they explore out all this and realize it's more Pyrenees Mountains, so they decide to just not go for that. They explore all this area, and that's where we're going to be ending off with the video today. I know it's kind of not very eventful, but I'm kind of tired, so yeah. Bye.